Good afternoon, race fans, and welcome here to race number 3 of the second season of the NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series, powered by the WRA, getting set to go racing for 54 laps of racing in the Victoria Voice Foundation 200. Should be interesting to see how this race weekend will play out as far as it's concerned. We're being told sunny conditions throughout the weekend as my phone's currently now glitching for some reason. I accidentally spilled some juice uh, before I started recording. I do apologize about that. Trying to make sure I was still live for my wrestling deal. Okay. I was trying I was trying to get to the points, but the thing didn't want to get to the points. Anyway, Addison Peterson starts on the pole position. She will attempt to qualify in tomorrow's Busch Series race as she's trying to look to make her first Busch start of her career. Over here in the Craftsman Truck Series, she comes into this race as I look for the six. She is 18th in the points, having a quiet start to the year. Erica Douglas, D Rockingham, North Carolina, dropped to 34th in the points. She is only a total of 4 points behind the 30th in the standings cut line as far as to get locked in the show. Chikara Takashi is looking to redeem himself, after making the show and going out at Rockingham, North Carolina. And Dylan Cunningham alongside. Dylan comes into this race 31st in the points table, and he is only 1 point behind the 30th in the standings cut line. Speaking of Dylan, his sister Sylvia will be attempting to qualify next week at Phoenix International Raceway. So we'll be seeing the Cunningham siblings as far as that is concerned. Mark Simpson, another driver who races his way in, completes the top 5. You look at the rest of the starting lineup. Let's get these trucks moving. Making sure nobody has any issues on the grid. And we'll talk about the top 10 in the points presented by Golden Corral. Gretchen Mueller is the rookie points leader and the overall points leader. She has a 4-point lead over Michael Brown, our winner from Coca-Cola. Daniel Gitirokh, third in the standings, 9 points back. 11 back, Saki Panini, second in the rookie of the year standings, 11 points back. Anthony Ricci completes the top 5 in the number 24. If Anthony Ricci does make Phoenix, he will be locked in the show, not have to worry about Gorgon qualifying. T Noguera is 6, 18 points back. Dylan Ibrahimian, 25 back in 7th. Bora Park will be will be in the Busch race tomorrow. She's 8th in the standings, 28 back, 29 back. Sasha Bright in 9th. Sasha failed to qualify for this race, so she'll fall out of the top 10 in the points. And T Mauser completes the top 10. Mauser made the race this week, so we're going to have a shakeup in the top 10 in the points leaving today. Green flag is in the air. The Victoria Voice Foundation 200 is underway. Actually, Addison Peterson actually made the Busch race. I failed to mention. This is what happens when I'm recording at 10:18 at night. I've been really not sleeping well. Okay, I'm sorry. Before any of you say nice to me, but Addison Peterson will lead the first lap of this race. But yes, Addison Peterson going to be making her Busch debut tomorrow afternoon. She did qualify her Busch car into the show. I was thinking it was today being Thursday, not Friday. My head's not in the game, y'all, so forgive me. Erica Douglas running in second position, trying to get herself locked into the show. Takashi up here in third. Chikara's sister, Kasumi, we will be seeing her trying to make it into the Winston Cup race tomorrow afternoon. I'm going to make sure that's taken care of. By the way, I'm working on Raw as I'm recording this race. Mark Simpson, top 10 of the points. Mark Simpson actually dropped out of the top 10. In fact, he dropped out of the top 20. He's 21st in the points. But as things stand, if we were to lock the top 30 in, he would be locked in the show as far as that is concerned. Anna Steiner, there's Ashlyn Wright. Currently in the 8th position. Ashlyn comes into this race 41st in the points. Talk about a driver who's really been struggling this weekend. She will attempt to qualify the Winston Cup car tomorrow. She's also near the 35th in the standings cut line over in Winston Cup. So she needs to get something going over there. She's doing good in Busch Series competition. As there's Anna Steiner. Anna's really been... See, Anna Steiner comes into this race 27th in the points. She's another driver who needs a good run to get away from the 30th in the standings cut line. I know Trinity Lee will be out of the top 30 after today's race, and lead change, Mark Simpson took the lead. As Mark is way up out of the gray area out of the dark stuff into the gray area. On Ilya Dragunov and Big Bronson Reed on my wrestling deal. There's Maisie Creighton back here at the rear of the field. Same with Cheyenne Berkshire back here at the rear of the field. Cheyenne did not need a poor finish today because she's that critical 30th in the standings cut line. Remember, next week is the last race. We use the Season 1 owner points. Beginning at Auto Club, we begin Season 2 owner points. Skylar Davidson, excuse me. Davidson 29th in the points. She's actually tied for that 30th in the standings. There's Shyla Askraov. Shyla is 15th in the points. This truck went to victory lane last season with Jared Underhill, the now banned Jared Underhill. Of course, Jared Underhill no longer in the series. Carlos Rodriguez 3 wide there with Dara Schmidt, and who was that on the outside of Dara? That was the 23 of Josh Ambrosio. Got to update the ticker. My apologies there. Chikari Takashi, now your race leader. I'm also watching the stream, making sure it doesn't crash on me. I've been live since like I think after 7:30. Douglas running in third right now. Tatiana Guerra fourth. Dylan Cunningham in fifth. Carolina Bradley in sixth. Seventh is Ashton Ingersoll. Anna Berger is now up to eighth. Ashlyn Wright going to fall back to ninth. And 10th is Zach Foster making his truck debut. I know these drivers will not have to worry about fuel. The question is, can they go 54 laps on one set of tires? Or if we get a caution at some point in this race, would that come into play? That's something these drivers are going to have to think about during this 54 lap race, which I didn't even mention about the race distance all weekend until just now. Ashlyn Wright now dropped to 10th. A lot of drivers who are still using last season's owner points need good runs to stay away from having to qualify their way in the show. Takashi really holding himself up really good. Mark Simpson in second. Erica Douglas having a good run. There's Ashton Ingersoll, currently in the fifth position. Haven't talked much about Ashton Ingersoll in the first couple of races of the season. Or Ashton, rather. Dropped 6 spots down to 11th in the points, so he fell out of the top 10 in the points after last week's race at the Rock. As Ilya Dragunov ended up winning. Ashton Ingersoll goes around the outside of Dylan Cunningham, which you don't normally see a lot of passes around the outside here at Las Vegas. As we got a change for second, Erica Douglas underneath Mark Simpson. Nearing the midway point of today's race. Going to check the back of the field here. The DVR girls not doing well. Skylar Davidson, Maisie Creighton, or Park. Jacob Foster back here at the rear of the field. Remember, he's making his second start. Coda Goforth, another driver who had a rough start to the year, 42nd in points. He cannot ill afford another poor finish because he's about to be in danger of having to qualify his way in on time. Oh, someone's smoking. Somebody is smoking up ahead. Oh no! It's Dylan Ibrahimian. Ah no, the engine has let go on the 80. Ah no! He was 7th in points coming into this race. This is going to take him out of the top 10 in the points. And that is his day done. Just like that. That's a tough break for Dylan Ibrahimian. He could not ill afford a poor finish. Especially the fact that he's running very well in the points table coming into this race. That's a tough break for Dylan Ibrahimian. And this could have real consequences on the points heading into next week at Phoenix. If you're hearing my phone echoing, it's because... Oh, wait a second. I need to do something real quick. Hold on. I need to do this. I had to do something real quick. I'll make sure it still says live. So Dylan Ibrahimian's day is done. That's a tough break for Dylan Ibrahimian. Top 10 in the points. He could not ill afford a poor finish. And he's going to really fall out of the top 10 in the points just like that. As we got a quacking duck in the booth for some odd reason, as Mark Simpson goes for second. It's Sean playing with the soundboard. By the way, Sean driver the Fruit of the Looms Chevrolet this week here at Las Vegas. Of course, we will see him and the other 34 drivers in pole day qualifying tomorrow. Will you cut that out? As we qualify for the race on Sunday. We're going to have a lot to talk about in the Winston Cup race on Sunday. A lot to talk about. As we're nearing the midway point of the race, if you just joined us, we have had a calm truck series race so far, except Dylan Ibrahimian will not be able to see the checker flag. He had an engine failure, a valve let go on his Dodge. And he was 7th in points coming into today's race. So this is going to take him definitely out of the top 10 in the points, leaving Las Vegas heading to Phoenix next week. As the cross symbol comes up, we are halfway through the Truck Series Victoria Voice Foundation 200 here at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Yes, I understand this may or may not have been a great idea starting at 5 p.m. Central Time, but to be fair, it's, to be in sync with these race times for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, if you know what I mean. Got a big gap here between the top three. They have almost a 3-second lead over Tatiana Noguera. Ashton Ingersoll, Dylan Cunningham, Carolina Bradley, Anna Berger, Zach Foster running in 9th, and the lead and battle for 10th between Ashlyn Wright and Ingrid Pollard. So give Ashlyn a spot in the top 10. This is a well-needed run for Ashlyn Wright. Needs to get back in the top 30 in points to be locked in. Let's see the ride that Jesse drove. That's Sophia Woodward driving it this season, running in 19th. So a lot of work to do for that Ford F-Series. Surprisingly, we've not had a caution yet, but I suspect that may change. Oh no, Sean touched the cars. Or in this case, the trucks. Of course, Sean's sister, Jessie, qualified 26th for tomorrow's Busch Series race, which will bring it to you live, another 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. Before that, we have Winston Cup qualifying as Jesse's trying to attempt to qualify into the Winston Cup race. That will begin at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. Let's see who is on the pole. Tyler Ware on the pole for tomorrow's Busch Series race. Ashlyn Wright, who's right, by the way, running in the top 10, she will be starting in the 12th position tomorrow afternoon. As I accidentally double clicked for some reason. Don't know why. Addison Peterson, we'll see her tomorrow in the Busch race, making her Busch debut. She is going to be rolling off from, if I can find her name on the starting grid. Jesse will start 26th tomorrow. 29th is where Addison Peterson will start tomorrow afternoon. Michael Brown will be attempting the race next week at Phoenix in the Busch Series. And of course, he's got to qualify his way into the Winston Cup field. There's Mark Games, Ingrid Pollard. There's Ashlyn Wright. We were just talking about her, where she's starting in the Busch race tomorrow. Of course, I already mentioned this in the Busch Series race, or if you saw the description, ignore what the starting grid was, where I said drivers were supposed to start in this spot, and that's because, my recording software decided to be a drunken hyena, and it got sent down the mountain into the Capdi. So there you go. As we're down to 20 laps of racing to go here at Las Vegas. It'll be an extra 13 laps tomorrow afternoon for the Busch Series, which means pit stops will come into play into that race tomorrow afternoon. And same deal goes for the Winston Cup Series, as they will have 81 laps of racing for the Pennzoil 400, presented by Jiffy Lube. Then we'll pack it up, get ready to head off to Phoenix International Raceway, continue our West Coast tour. Truck Series Pole Day qualifying will be at 5 p.m. Eastern, 3 Mountain Time, 2 Pacific. We will have Busch qualifying at 3 p.m. Eastern, 1 Mountain Time, noon Pacific. 5 p.m. Eastern, the Craftsman Truck Series race. 3 p.m. Eastern on Saturday, Winston Cup qualifying, as it's their next to last race using Season 1's owner points. That will be, as I said, 3 p.m. Eastern. Busch race at 5 p.m. Eastern, 3 Mountain Time, 2 Pacific. On Saturday, Winston Cup race, 3 p.m. Eastern next Sunday. Hopefully we have a clean race weekend. Hopefully no controversy like what we had in the Winston Cup race last week at Rockingham, North Carolina. Of course, Sean will be watching the Busch race, watching his sister Jessie race. Hopefully Jessie has a good race tomorrow. Hasn't been a good start to the year for Jessie R. Already been a rough stretch for Jessie R. Failed to qualify for the first 2 Winston Cup race. Actually, she made the race but failed post-qualifying inspection in the Winston Cup Series last week at the Rock. had a poor finish at the Rock in the Busch race, and she's in that critical 30th position in the points. For a driver who won a race and made the playoffs last season. Of course, the playoffs are a one and done deal. It's driver who has the most points wins the championship. Simple as that. And of course, Jessie's still trying to make her first Winston Cup Series start of her career. Whereas you look at Senor Sean, and if Sean wants to bring this up, Sean dropped 8 spots to 12th in the points table in the Winston Cup Series, but he is so far high up in the top 35. And remember, he's locked in based on last season's owner points. Keep that in mind. Of course, Sean had a top 5 run at Coca-Cola, then got caught up in an incident through no fault of his own. Which, the good news is, Sean wrecked the field. The bad news is, Sean wrecked his car, as I always like to say. So Sean looking to bounce back, trying to get back in the top 10 of the points. Only 2 races into the season. Also should mention, Rogel Dorn's out of the race with a clutch issue. So there's our first driver with a clutch problem out of the race. And Rogel's already had a rough start to the year. 36 at Coca-Cola. DNQ'd last week at the Rock, and this week gets a broken clutch. So 46 in points as far as the drivers that are part-time, not the run that he was hoping for. Forgot the next match. Sorry. Trying to do this race and all. Oh, God. I just saw the next match, which is Kaiser and Sheamus. Oh, Lord. God help me all. Chikura Takashi leads as we're coming to 10 laps of racing to go here at Las Vegas. Want to remind everybody this copyrighted broadcast is presented by the authority of the World Racing Association for the private use of our audience. Any reproduction or rebroadcast or retransmitted or any other disseminations or the use of this broadcast, will you cut that out, without the express written consent of the World Racing Association is prohibited. Blue Hedgehog TV and the World Racing Association want to thank you fans for your continued support, and we hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. At least it's not the ring general. Lead change. Mark Simpson getting ready to take the lead. And not too far behind him, Erica Douglas. Really hope we don't get a late race yellow. That could really shake things up. Sophia Woodward running in 19th. Danny Johnson having a good run. Currently in the 18th position. Danny Johnson 40th in the points, so needs to get himself in the top 30. He was a total of 16 points behind the 30th in the standings cut line. Mark Simpson leads. Battle for second between Takashi and Douglas. Takashi, a rookie in this series. Erica Douglas, a former Coca-Cola Truck Series driver, as well as she also is a former Buffalo Wild Wings and Monster Energy Series driver. Mark Simpson, currently our race leader here. As the Seamus Ludwig Kaiser match is underway. Oh, wonderful. That was, by the way, apple juice I was drinking. I don't know why I double clicked twice. So you look at the drivers who, in the top 10, a couple of them needed those good runs, like Ashlyn Wright, who is, if I look correctly, next to last in the points of the drivers that are locked in the first 4 races on Season 1's points. Lucy Granger, I don't count her because, she's an all-star entry. Remember, Carolina Bradley will be dropping. She will not be in the car next week. It'll be Lucy Granger will be in that 50 ride starting at the next race, which will be Phoenix. That'll be next week. If the caution were to come out now, this race will end under the yellow flag. So that means in either the Busch or Winston Cup Series, we're definitely going to have our first caution of the weekend. Down to 3 laps to go. So next week we head to Phoenix. Following week we head to Auto Club. Then trucks will be off. We'll have Busch and Winston Cup at Martinsville, but not the Martinsville you're thinking of. It'll be Martinsville Dirt. Could make something very interesting into the championship. And then after that, it'll be just the Cup drivers as they go racing in Champs-Élysées in France. That will be a fun race. Pole day qualifying on Saturday, race on Sunday. Of course, Senor Sean will be in that. Will more likely be in that race if he stays in the top 35 in points. As here comes Takashi. By the way, this is coming to the white flag, I'd like to remind you all. One more lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Mark Simpson trying to get his first career win in the Craftsman Truck Series, powered by the WRA. And be our third different winner to go to victory lane this season, joining the likes of Gretchen Muller and Michael Brown. And it doesn't look like anyone is going to get around the 0-8. Coming off of turns 3 and 4, Mark Simpson is going to get his first career NASCAR Craftsman Truck Series powered by the WRA win here today at Las Vegas. And a caution-free race, which is nice for a change. Standings are now official. Chikara Takashi will get second. Erica Douglas will get third. Great run for Erica Douglas, a driver who needed a good run after failing to qualify last week at the Rock. 34th in the points. Where will this sit her? Probably in the top 30 in the points, leaving today. Ashton Ingersoll will get fourth. Good run for him. Came in this race in 11th in points, so this will put him in the top 10 in the standings. Dylan Cunningham will complete your top 5. Well-needed run for Cunningham, 31st in the points. This will get him away from 30th in the standings, if you know what I mean. Tatiana Guerra will get 6th. Tatiana, will you cut that out? Tatiana Noguera came as race 6 in points. This will keep her in the top 10 in the point standings. Carolina Bradley failed to qualify for the Busch race for tomorrow. This is her only race of the weekend. Will come on 7th, so turned a bad day into something good. And of course, it will hurt her in the Busch standings, I can tell you, heading into Phoenix next week. Ashlyn Wright, well-needed run for a driver, 41st in the points. This will get her away, probably get her up, hopefully closer to getting in the top 30 in the points. Anna Berger will get 9th. Anna came into this race as, shockingly, Kaiser beat freaking Sheamus. That's a shocker. Anna Berger dropped to 23rd in the points table. Well-needed run for Anna Berger. Bounce-back result. Which I'm in disbelief that Sheamus lost to freaking Kaiser, which is a bruh moment if you ask me. If you're watching on my YouTube channel, will you cut that out? Oh God, Karen Cross and Gunther. Oh gosh. Good run for Zach Foster. Will you cut that out? In his debut race, he'll come home in the 10th position. Well done to that rookie and the brother of Jacob Foster. By the way, Jacob Foster finished in 26th place. This race really hurt a number of drivers as far as the point standings is concerned. Will you cut that out, Sean? I know it's you. You look on down through the remainder of the finishing results. Gretchen Muller, 34th, came as race as the points leader. Michael Brown, 21st, came as race second in points. Daniel Gitirokh, 35th. He was third in the points table. And let's see, Zachy Panini, 33rd. He was fourth. Anthony Ricci. I think Ricci did well. I'm looking. Yeah, Ricci finished in 13th. I think Anthony Ricci, I believe, I don't want to be wrong, but I believe he may be the points leader. It's all going to depend on who led laps and all that, as far as that is concerned. Excuse me. 40 drivers all finished on the lead lap. Skylar Davidson, the last driver on the lead lap. I should also mention, if one of the drivers of the 50 is in the top 30, the cut line goes to 31st in the points. I'd like to remind you, if Carolina Bradley is still in the top 30 in points, as far as the driver points, the cut line will get shifted downward to 31st in the points, and then it'll go back up to 30th in the standings. So 40 drivers finished on the lead lap. Skylar Davidson definitely going to fall out of the top 30, so she's got one more race to get back in the top 30 in the standings. Nobody finished a lap down or more, and 2 drivers did not reach the conclusion of the race due to mechanical failure. Rogel Dorn, due to a broken clutch, and Dylan Ibrahimian, who came in this race running very well in the points, out of the race with a broken valve. He will finish in the 42nd position. So 2 of the 42 starters failed to finish, both due to mechanical problems and a caution-free race. But Las Vegas really has made its part in shaking the points up. We just got ourselves a point shakeup heading into next week's race at Phoenix. Hope you guys enjoyed today's race from Las Vegas. If you did, be sure to give this video a like. Subscribe to become part of the World Racing Association crew today. We've shown your full finisher results. Your points table is down in the description. Your points, as well as your Rookie of the Year points. Heading into next week at Phoenix International Raceway, we still got to finish up our race weekend from Las Vegas. Tomorrow afternoon, we got Winston Cup Series qualifying. That will be at 4 p.m. Eastern, followed by the Busch race at 6 p.m. Eastern, 3 Pacific. And then the Winston Cup race, Sunday at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 Pacific. For our studio engineer, Caleb Hobbs and Sean Art, I'm D DeVos. Thank you for joining me and saying goodbye from Las Vegas Motor Speedway. We congratulate Mark Simpson on his first Career Truck Series win. Coming up next, we'll rejoin the Infinity Network Sports Studios, programming already in progress. We will talk to you all tomorrow. You've been listening and watching the World Racing Association of Grace Racing since 2013.